Yo everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Demon Knights, issue number 1. Take a look at this comic cover right here. Now, I'm a big fan of fantasy. Whether you guys know that or not, I love fantasy worlds. Elves, goblins, dragons, knights, paladins, wizards, sorcerers, warlocks, all that kind of stuff. Throw a little dragons on top, and gotta love that stuff. I really enjoy it. And one of my favorite pastimes is Dungeons & Dragons, a 3.5 in particular. I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons since, oh god, I was 14, so about 10 years now. And my friends and I meet every Saturday, and we play every Saturday. And there's a good group of us, about 8 of us, and Dungeons & Dragons is great. One of my favorite pastime, one of my favorite things to do, and you know what? Without a doubt, one of the best role-playing and tabletop games there is out there. 3.5. 4.0 is. But that's just me. I don't like 4.0. Anyways, with that said, I wanted to expand my repertoire when it comes down to comics. And when I heard that they were going to use Etrigan, a character that I really do like in the DC universe, in a fantasy medieval universe, I said, hey, might as well give it a shot. The question is this. Will Demon Knights be good? Will it be worth the pickup? Will it really tickle my fantasy in the fantasy way? But, well, we're just going to have to wait and see. So let's get into issue number 1 of Demon Knights. Now, if you get confused during this review, please bear with me. There's a lot of names in this, a lot of characters, and a lot happens. The issue starts off with Camelot being attacked. And we don't know by who. We can assume it's Morgan Le Fay, but we really actually don't know who, unless I missed that. And King Arthur is being taken away, and one of his knights has Excalibur. He throws Excalibur in the lake, but a chick dies after it and tries to go after Excalibur. One of the characters that are introduced, one of the 7 characters, Zandua. Some of the names are really freaky, but Zandu. Who I also believe is in Justice League Dark, but we won't get into that. Anyway, she goes after the sword, but she can't quite get her hands on it. Then we come to Merlin, who is talking about how the end is coming near, and Jason Blood, a young Jason Blood, shows up, and Merlin bounds him with the demon Etrigan. We then fast forward many years, and there's this evil queen, which again, we don't know her name. I thought she was Morgan Le Fay at first, but again, we don't know her name. And her lover trying to, you know, conquer stuff and take over and become rich and, you know, all that kind of stuff that evil tyrants want to do. And they even sacrifice a baby to do it. That's pretty hardcore. Anyways, they had basically troops that they sent out that take over lands, take over stock, take over money and food and all that stuff from people. And then we jump to Zandu and Jason Blood, and apparently they're working together now. Again, many years have passed. We're in the Dark Age. We've gone from Camelot to the Dark Age. And many years have passed, and they're working together, and they come into a bar, and the bar is the same place where Vandal Savage is at. If you know who Vandal Savage is, right off the bat, you know who I'm talking about. But Vandal Savage is an immortal. Jason Blood, Zandu, and Vandal Savage are immortals. I'm just going to open this up so I can reference all the names, because all the names are quite ridiculous. Anyways, they go into this tavern, and who is there but the Shining Knight also. Now, this is starting to sound familiar to a lot of my D&D quests. I'll explain in a moment. The Shining Knight is there also, and 2 other characters come in. One guy who is kind of a roguish person that's called Al-Jabbar. J-Bar. It's spelled J-A-B-R. Jabbar. Maybe, Al-Jabbar. And he says he's a mechanist, that he can help make people rich, but you know he's just swindling you for money. There's also this big, brutish woman who's kind of big, who's called Exotos, and she's causing a muck too. She's basically beating up on the bartender because he's willing to serve women with no problem, but he has a problem with that dude who's kind of the roguish person. I should really call them rogues, monks, knights, clerics, all that kind of stuff. And then we're also introduced again to these people that are going out, the Outriders. They're the queens, people that take over land and stuff. And they are taken out by this archer who's sitting on this horse. Side note, the author of this told us that this archer that was sitting on the horse apparently can't walk, and they stay on this horse. We don't see that in this comic. Don't know if that's actually the case, but that happens, and the outsiders or the outriders then attack the bar that everyone's at. Jason Blood releases Etrigan, and he says it in a new way. He doesn't say, "Gone, gone, the former man, uh, rise the demon Etrigan." Is oh god, concealed within the former man, release the demon Etrigan. It's a little different, but still pretty good rhyme. And Etrigan breathes fire on everyone, and apparently the evil queen finds out about this. So they do what all evil queens and their lovers do. Well, they send dragons after them. Let's get into the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Good. Well, I like how this just is a stereotypical D&D fantasy world. Where does everyone meet up? The bar. And we have all the typical people. We have a caster. We have an archer. We have a monk, what looks like to be a monk. We have the rogue. We have kind of the knight, which is also a demon knight. We have a regular knight. And we have a barbarian with Vandal Savage. So we have a good group here. We're still missing a cleric and a paladin. And, wizard and stuff. But I can let that slide. You can let it slide with that. Although, I hope you have a rod of Cure Light Wounds on you, because you're going to need some healing. Anyways, I'm going to the D&D world. Like I said, I like how this kind of mimics fantasy world. Everyone shows up in the bar, and suddenly they're all working together. I also like how some of the bad guys act. I mean, first of all, they go around and they kill a kid. That's pretty extreme. But their solution to everything is throwing dragons at people. Kind of funny. I have to admit, that's kind of funny. The art is also very nice. Very nice. And Etrigan's new costume, his armor, is really badass. It actually looks better in comic than on cover. Bad. The dialogue is kind of meh. And you have to read through this twice to really kind of get everything. It feels like it's jumping back and forth. It's not like it's bad dialogue. It just feels a little choppy. That, and I feel as though everything was thrusted upon us way too quickly. I don't know these characters. If I'm a new reader, I don't know anything about them. I know Etrigan. I know Jason Blood. I know Vandal Savage. I know the Shining Knight. But everyone else, I'm completely new to. So these characters are kind of just thrusted on me. And we get no backstory about them. So I didn't like that. And yeah, it was just it wasn't as well paced as it could have been. Whether or not you should get it. Well, out of everything that's coming out of the 52 relaunch, this one's probably had kind of the most problems with it. I wouldn't say it's necessarily horrible, but I wouldn't say it's an excellent issue at all by any means. Do I think it'll get better? Yeah, but the problem is everything was rushed on us at once. And I don't like that. I don't feel like I need to be rushed to figure out what's happening. And it just feels a little choppy in that sense. So, it wasn't quite as good as I thought it was going to be. I hold out hope issue number 2 will be good because the art was good, the dialogue was okay, it was just choppy. Feels like we're jumping from one thing to another. And maybe it wasn't so much it was choppy, it's just these characters are talking like it's issue number 5. Like I don't know who these, like I know who these characters are. And I don't. I really don't. I mean, again, I know who Jason Blood is, but this is a new Jason Blood. And I know who Vandal Savage is, but this is a new Vandal Savage. So I feel as though they're expecting us to know these characters that we really don't know. Do I recommend getting it? Unless you're a hardcore fantasy fan, no. I hold out hope issue number 2 will be good, and I did enjoy parts of this, but it really was on the second read-through that I enjoyed it more. The first read-through really didn't catch me right away. So, again, if you're a fantasy fan, you might like this, but other than that, I'm sorry. I would hold out hope. Or at least wait until I talk about issue 2 and see where it goes from there. So with that said, I'm going to end this review here. This is Andrew saying, peace out for now.